A quick word for today. After having a conversation with all of my children, as well as a former student of mine, just a message for our young people. The importance of abstaining until marriage, because the sin is in us, the lust is in us, and that's something that we typically do struggle with, lust. And I was just talking to my oldest son, and he was just discussing how he kind of got knocked off kilter, and he fell behind in his schoolwork or whatever. And he realized, I don't have time to be trying to entertain a female at this time. And I just had to stress the importance to him. Something hit my spirit to share with him. Son, you got to work on making sure that you have the necessary resources in order to take care of a female as well as a family. So you need to make sure you get that situated first, as well as make sure that you stand on course to fulfill your God-given purpose before you try to just be out here playing around, because that's not the way. And he received what I had to tell him, and I just pretty much told him, females gonna always be around. I use some vulgar language for him to drive that point home. That's gonna always be around. That'll always be there. Also, I was just telling a young lady, because when you have kids in the mix, you automatically have people that they're going to be relying upon you at all times. So I don't want to tell too much of the situation, but what I'm trying to get to is that as females, we really have to make sure that we are in control of our emotions, our feelings, especially with that lust that resides in us. Because at the end of the day, I've always said that females have inner sluts, and then when you rearrange those letters of lust, that describes females in a good bit of the ways, anyway. But anywho, getting to my point, with females, you need to be mindful of who you share your bodies with. Does this man have the necessary resources to provide for himself, for me, as well as for children, if children are to come into play? That's why you just need to wait to marriage before you involve yourself in a sexual relationship, because this is one of the factors, or maybe one of the reasons, why we have so many homes where we have females that are raising children, and in some cases where they may have different fathers, because we don't necessarily vet the males properly. We just give in to that desire. So that's my message for today. I hope that it is received by someone. And just another thing before I get out of this video, not used to doing this, gotta get used to it, doing it. But anyways, in the Bible, there was an ongoing theme in the Bible where the men, they had to work, they had to toil before they even got to be with a female. In a lot of instances, they had to show that they had the resources to be able to provide. And I talked about Jacob and Rachel. He worked for 21 years and he amassed a fortune be able to take care of his family. And I looked at David. David had to prove himself and before he got his first wife. And I don't want to be too graphic, but I was just like, he had to cut. Saul had a twisted mind. He had this man to cut off, uncircumcised penises. So you have to go through certain tasks before you can be able to acquire a wife. And you need to be able to have acquired the resources that you need to be able to sustain a family. And to my young men, this is lying on my heart to say as well. As long as you have God in your heart and you know that God is the head of your life and you surrender to God, God will reveal your God-given talents to you so that you will always be able to provide for yourself and your family. It may be a harder route, but as long as you lean on God, God will reveal what talents you have that will be able to provide provision for you and your family, meaning you'll always have a way in order to make a way for you and your family.